The election stalemate in Israel continues, with both sides making moves to try and form a new government. What is clear is Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu appears to feel his power slipping away.
I-24 reporter Owen Alterman joins us live from Jerusalem. Owen, thank you so much for joining us. A big reversal from the Prime Minister, who this morning appeared to offer an olive branch at least. So what happened? And is it too little too late?
Well, that's right. The man living in that building behind me, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, this morning at a memorial ceremony for former Israeli President and Prime Minister Shimon Peres, appeared to hint that he would be interested in going into a unity government with Blue and White Party leader Benny Gantz in a prime ministerial rotation. That was not something we had heard from Benjamin Netanyahu in the past. Definitely not what he wanted to be saying on September 19th. But here we are from his perspective. You know, it's interesting. Benjamin Netanyahu gives with one hand and takes with the other. On the one hand, calling on Benny Gantz to meet him, even today, without preconditions to form a unity government and throwing out that hint of a prime ministerial rotation. But on the other hand, Benjamin Netanyahu signing a document with all of the leaders of the other right-wing and religious parties that they're going to go into these talks as a bloc, meaning that all 50-some of them are going into talks together with Benny Gantz's Blue and White Party. And that's a non-starter, probably, for Blue and White, because there are partners in that group, there are parties in that group that they don't want to do business with, that they won't want to sit with. So again, on the one hand, Netanyahu reaching out and offering that olive branch. On the other hand, implicitly setting a condition that Blue and White's not going to be interested in meeting.
You know, Owen, I've covered the General Assembly for several years, and Netanyahu was always a vocal and visible force there. Next week, he's canceled his trip. What does this mean? Is this a sign of the end for him?
Well, it's a big deal. He loved going to the UN General Assembly. And this was one of his two big speeches of the year. One major speech was going to be at the General Assembly this year, as it is every year, where Benjamin Netanyahu gets to play the villain. He gets to play the bad guy, walking into an institution that is thought to be so hostile to Israel by so many people here. And on the other hand, Benjamin Netanyahu also likes to go to the AIPAC conference in the spring, where he gets to play the superhero. But in any event, he's not going to get to go to that General Assembly. It's a highlight of the Israeli political calendar. But Benjamin Netanyahu is going to give it a pass, showing if he's not in political trouble, at least how much he feels he needs to be here to really take the helm of these coalition talks and to try to move them forward.
So how long could this all take? How long until the country knows who's in charge and what the government will look like?
Listen, this is a process that's going to take a long time. Whoever gets the first shot at putting this government together gets about 6 weeks to do that. If that person doesn't succeed, then the next person gets 4 weeks. The person after that gets 2 weeks. The bottom line, these talks might go on so long that we're all going to be watching the NFL playoffs, and Israel still won't have a government. And if, in fact, this country is going to go to its third elections, something that everyone thought was completely unthinkable, but in the last 24 hours, more and more people are talking about it, we'll have opening day of the next baseball season before that happens.
I-24 reporter Owen Alterman live in Jerusalem. Owen, we love having you on the show. Thanks so much for being on today.